Been a very busy few weeks here, but Russell helped and got the engine pulled apart on the Porsche. We've found something pretty bad. Check this out. So we've got the engine pulled away from the front suspension, or the front axle with suspension, via these 4 mounting bolts here. Now, as it is a 2-part block, we have to split this to get the crankshaft out. It is a floating crankshaft. But we've got the heads off. First concern is that the first conrod is tight. Second conrod has got some play. Not the biggest issue we've got. The biggest issue is over here. Now, the first cylinder head has got a crack in through here, where it looks like the sleeve has actually been rubbing, which I'm not sure why. Maybe just an adjustment. These heads do need to be adjusted using shims, but it's been rubbing along. That one is okay, but the bigger problem is this guy. Not ideal. The biggest problem is this head is also cooked, as you can see by that massive crack. But the thing is, that broken cylinder with its crack has been put back in the machine. The biggest disappointment is that that broken sleeve has been put back into the machine broken, which means that someone's had this engine apart, put it back in, and then sold the tractor over in Europe, or they didn't know what they were doing, put it back in and hope for the best. Whether or not that was done with intent to put it back together and sell it, or whether or not they did that just to try and get by, but I can't see how this engine was running at all with the damage that we've found inside there. So there is no metal in the bottom. We did check that earlier, so the other part of it is not down in the block. So now we have to go further just to see how much this project's going to cost. Bit disappointing. Also, now that it's off, we can see the rust we need to repair on the toolbox side. This is a structural element, so it's pretty important that we fix this and repair this, because this actually forms the main structure which supports your steering column, your steering wheel, and the dash. So the structural integrity of this is important. We can't get a replacement easily, so we're going to have to rebuild this and fold it up custom. Today's goal is getting this big steel front cowl off the casting, but to do that we're going to have to get the fuel tank out, because the studs in behind are actually corroded to the point where they're going to need to be cut off. So we have to get this fuel tap done up and remove this fuel line under here. As you can see, these studs are pretty bad, so we need to cut these off. Success! We have the front casting off. Now we've got to get the radiator off, clean this up. We've got to figure out how to get these studs out, replace that, and look at getting the radiator repaired. Here I'm basically just cleaning up the castings using the wire wheel, just to make sure that some of the excess rust is cleared away before we take it for blasting, and just to really check that there's no major structural issues with the casting. As for the 50/20, as you remember, there was some dents in the bonnet, so I've had the bonnet removed and we've had those panel beaded out. There was a noticeable dent on this side here, one over the back. There's a little crease left we couldn't get out, but ready to get that hood back on, get the panels on, and have it ready for sale hopefully very soon. These machines are really designed to test us. The starter has failed on the 50/20, so we pulled that out and Isaac helped to rebuild it, or to look at the brushes, give it a good clean out and get that starting again. So fingers crossed, no more problems with the starter.